Hello, welcome to Book Salads. I'm Arion.
Prometheus!
Welcome to another tea party for Pride and Prejudice. Thank you, Marissa, and thank you, Katie, for hosting Jane Austen July 2020. You didn't participate, did you? Changed your mind? Changed your mind? You did start Pride and Prejudice. What happened?
Got to chapter 16 and I knew the story. I just couldn't be convinced to continue reading something I already knew.
Yeah.
Or something I knew and had forgotten parts of it, and I knew it.
Obviously, the book was more in depth.
Yeah.
But the movie does do a really good job. I had to take it in little pieces, and I'm not sure if that's just because parts of the story dragged for me, or like you, I already know this story, why am I reading the book? Which I think was a lot of it. But also because I did the annotated version, there were so many footnotes, and some of the footnotes were not necessary, and a lot of the pictures were the same as Emma's pictures. There were some different ones, but a lot were the same. And that being said, all that complaining just to say I definitely liked this book better than Emma. I liked the story better than Emma. And from what I've read, she wrote Pride and Prejudice first. I'd have to check to see when it was actually published. Because I'm a geek, I already wrote that information down. Sense and Sensibility was published in 1811. Pride and Prejudice in 1813. Mansfield Park, 1814, and Emma, 1815. And then the others were published posthumously, and the last one was unfinished, the Sanditon. So this was a good story. But it really takes off after Lydia. Scandalous. Scandalous. Today, we are not doing scones. I didn't want to go through the trouble. Are you okay?
Yeah.
It is very hot. Please be careful. The teapot that I have today is actually from a Jane Austen July festival that we bought from a vendor. What year did we go?
20.
Sorry. No. Apparently I'm still living in Pride and Prejudice.
It's either 2011 or 2012. Most likely 2012.
2012, not 1812. Hello. Let me get back into this century. Yes. Okay. So, anyways, here is a plate.
Would you like me to zoom in?
We bought... No, I'll take a picture. We bought a set, and so it's from Johnson Brothers. It was made in 1929, made in England. It's called Old Britain Castles. We got the teapot, a coffee pot, plates, cups and saucers, the creamer,
and
the sugar container, and a tray. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was my souvenir from the festival, which I'm sure everybody knows. Obviously, it didn't happen this year. It was online. Not the same thing. Not even close. Not by a hairbreadth. Does that even make sense? Okay. So characters. Who's your favorite character in Pride and Prejudice?
I don't think I have one. I
I like
Okay, let me rephrase that. Probably Catherine Deneuve.
Really? How come?
I don't know.
Because you just like the bad ones, huh? The bad characters. Yeah. I like Mrs. Gardner and Charlotte Lucas. Those are probably my two favorite characters. My least favorite is a tie between Mrs. Bennet and Wickham. Now that I've read both of these, there are a lot of similarities. And I was going to continue Jane Austen into August. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to wait until next year, assuming that it'll be hosted again. Okay, Wickham. Okay, spoilers. Wickham is a predator. Even though technically he didn't prey on Lydia, Lydia was just foolish, young, silly, foolish, childish. He preyed on Miss Darcy, on Georgiana, and the other girl, I don't remember her name, the redhead. He's preying on these young girls for their money. And he just used Lydia. So I don't like him, and I don't like Mrs. Bennet because she's just as stupid and foolish, and had she been a better mother, probably wouldn't have had Lydia be such trash, dare I say. I don't think so. Don't think they used that terminology back then. I was interested, did you know, I think I told you, in the annotation, horrid apparently was a slang word. I found that really interesting. Oh, thank you, honey. I found that very interesting. I think I'll probably do these more in depth in another video about the characters and whatnot. I was considering doing a video on Jane Austen characters, and just these two books though, as well as a video on Jane Austen's critics. I know that Mark Twain was said to have disliked Jane Austen with a passion, but I haven't been able to find out why. Just, I hate Jane Austen's writing and that's that. Well, give a reason. Don't just say you hate something and then just not explain why. So Mark Twain's opinion doesn't hold any water, basically. You have to explain why. Although Emerson, is it delicious? Is it heavenly? We're having cucumber sandwiches today and egg salad. Prometheus probably will not eat the egg salad. You're not a big fan of eggs, but you do eat egg salad. The eggs are from my chickens. And when they free range, those eggs are so gorgeous. Okay.
Emerson.
Yes, Emerson. I have an Emerson book up there. Ralph Waldo Emerson did not like Jane Austen's writing because every book is the same. It's about marriage, it's about money. It's about money and it's about marriage. That's it. So, yeah, that would get a bit tedious, which is part of the reason why I don't want to read any more Jane Austen this coming up month, tomorrow. Wickham had a similar cheesy, greasy, smooth, salesman-y type behavior as Frank Churchill. Same as Willoughby, Charmer, and Emma had a similar character as Elizabeth Bennet. They think they're so smart and so witty, and it ends up biting them in the rear. What's the matter?
Nothing.
Oh, it made it kind of funny. I thought you made a funny look. I definitely like Darcy in Pride and Prejudice, the book, better than the movie. And I have a little take on where my mind went on Darcy, but I think I'll save that for another video. So, how is your book? Well, your 2 books turning out?
Well, The Great Hunt, library book.
Which I keep calling The Hunter for some reason.
We'll get back to that one.
Aww.
That one has its own discussion then.
Oh, okay.
And When the Earth Had Two Moons. This one is very fascinating to me because it goes through the different theories of how the theories came about from Johannes Kepler and other scientists like that.
Who's Johannes Kepler? Was he an astrologer, astronomer?
Astronomer.
Okay.
Who may also have been credited with the first science fiction work, but...
What was that?
A tale in which men travel to the moon.
Did I put sugar in here?
I put sugar in there.
Thank you.
And, yeah, it's very fascinating how each individual planet doesn't seem to have any correlation to the creation of any other planet. The outer systems seem to have followed a completely different origin than the inner systems, and nobody's really quite sure how they fit together. And that's been very interesting to read about. I highly recommend that book for anybody who's interested in planetary science or geology or stuff like that. The Great Hunt.
Where did we get that book?
We got it in the book hall
Oh, yes.
from the bookstore in town.
Yep. Barnes & Noble lost out on a lot of money.
And
Half Price lost out on a lot of money.
yeah. To be fair, we may not have spent as much money had we not had those 2 pushes away.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But our store, our local store, has...
Gone up to 11 at this point.
Okay, real quickly. Our local bookstore, the lady that worked there was not very nice. She was very pushy. And the book selection was horrible. I don't know if she's been replaced, but the man that has been there is so friendly. The people that work there now obviously are feeding off of his energy. They're very friendly now. The book selection, obviously because we spent so much money. So, yes. And part of it was because, not like we don't have enough books to read, but I wanted some book therapy.
Yeah.
And so I got some book therapy.
The Great Hunt. Oh, so many things to think about.
You've gotten really far.
Yes, I'm finally at page 252 of 700 something.
Okay, so yesterday you were telling me that it's a slow burn.
It's a slow burn for the first 2 books that I've read.
Okay.
The first 200 pages are very slow. Very slow. After page 220, things pick up quite a bit. Which is slightly annoying because you have to read the first 220 pages
To know what's going on.
to know what's going on. Otherwise, it's just like walking upon a bonfire, not knowing that there was an explosion or a small, steady kindling.
Interesting analogy.
And, yeah, Dark One. What's his motivation? I want to know more about this Dark One. He seems like a completely agreeable guy. Minus his minions, they really need some manners and new food sources, but other than that, he seems like somebody who can negotiate a deal. The world doesn't need to fight. Talk it out. It should be a simple enough issue. He wants to stop reliving stuff. You don't want to die.
Have a conversation.
Precisely. Okay, so he has some really bad branding issues.
What do you mean by that?
Dark One, Father of Lies, half a dozen others.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, he's been the most truthful out of every character so far.
Even the main character?
Okay, maybe not the main character, but he's a pig-headed idiot. You kind of expect brute honesty from that type of character. Dark One's still been the most honest. He's told the character, A, the witches are going to kill you. Yeah, they've tried killing him multiple times.
So he's been more honest than the witches.
Well, the witches always tell the truth, but they may not tell the whole truth.
Omission of the truth is a lie.
Yeah. He has so far has been completely accurate in everything he said. A, the witches are going to try to kill him. They're at the very least plotting. One nearly attempted it. 2, you're going to go crazy. Yeah, he may or may not be going crazy already. 3, he's the only one who can teach him how to control the power to A, not go crazy, and B, not be killed by witches. And by witches, I mean the Asphaug. That's Asphaug. I can't pronounce the name. Yeah, he's the only one at this point. Him and his followers are the only ones who remember how to use the power that will make Red go crazy and control it to the point where he won't go crazy. I just don't understand. Conversations, negotiations. I've been reading too much about the Brest-Litovsk Treaty. Or Brest-Litovsk. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I have a question. Since it has picked up, are you considering getting book 3?
Quite possibly. Depends on how book 2 ends.
Before it picked up, Prometheus was complaining a great deal about the frustration with the characters not communicating.
Yeah.
How many characters he disliked, and I kept telling him, just DNF it, who cares? Oh, but we got it from the library. All the more reason to DNF it, send it back, who cares, you know. And then it picked up, and it started to get a little bit better. But I am glad we didn't buy them.
Yeah, agreed.
Except for the first one, which I bought at a used bookstore
Years ago.
So it wasn't that much.
Also, just to get this out there, if you have a friend that you have known or remembered since you were 4 years old.
Wow, 4?
At least.
So they
grew up together in the same village since they were toddlers, infants.
That's like 2.
Yeah, so they would have known themselves between 2. They would only remember themselves to 4.
Right.
And they're around 16 now. You would think the bonds of friendship would be just a tad bit...
Right, because you're like a brother at that point.
Precisely, and they were in the first book. And now, because he put on some fancy clothes and tried pushing them away in a very odd and panicked manner, they're just like, okay, whatever. We don't want to talk to you anymore. And they've just been avoiding him. I'm like, come on! Your friend acts weird, you tie him to a chair, and you torture him until he tells you what you want to know. Okay, we've been friends for this long, and as my friend, I feel it's my job to get this information out of you, even if it sacrifices your kneecaps.
Nice friend.
At least he stuck around.
It's better than abandoning him, which you said they ended up doing anyway.
Yeah.
Not very good friends.
No, and I expected a little more from people of that...
Grew up together.
Who grew up together. That's my one big beef.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll improve.
Well, yeah, but that shouldn't have happened to begin with.
Right, but there has to be this, big build-up and, frustration and turns and twists.
Don't feed me false tension.
So far you're not liking it?
I'm not.
Though it's improved.
It has improved, but I'm not liking the relationship between the 3 friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even counting the girl that tagged along with them.
Oh, that's probably not good, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Don't, just give up on that one.
Okay, well, this will pretty much conclude our Pride and Prejudice and, what is it? The Great Hunt afternoon tea. Thank you for joining us, and come back and view some of our other videos. We appreciate you taking the time. Hope you have a great day.